We're back with more crashes than ever, strange moments, and we didn't forget the Cctv. Sit back and enjoy the show. Adrian was at work with his vehicle parked next to the vehicle of another resident. Neither of them could have anticipated that both their vehicles were about to be the victims of the dreaded pedal misapplication. That retaining wall couldn't stop a car crashing over it when the driver gave it a little extra gas by mistake. We're not sure how the driver managed to get out, but we were told that nobody was injured. Just imagine sitting in your parked vehicle and boom, an SUV drops from the sky. Adrian told us the process of getting a tow truck to come move the SUV off the vehicles was a nightmare that took hours. But one finally arrived after police responded to the scene. Sadly, both vehicles were totaled. Hopefully that retaining wall gets extended to prevent something like this happening again in the future, but if not, Adrian might want to consider parking somewhere else. The vehicle collisions caught on camera are just getting started. Check out what happened in this clip Steve sent us. Oh man, that trailer cut through the red pickup like butter. The other driver is lucky the trailer didn't tip over and take his pickup with it. The pickup driver obviously took the tight corner way too fast. It seems like he either wasn't looking where he was going or he wasn't expecting anybody to be there. Then again, maybe he's never hauled a trailer before, but we doubt that since the pickup looks like a work truck. Hopefully he learned his lesson after what was definitely an expensive mistake. Steve told us that nobody looked to be injured and he gave his security cam footage to the officer investigating the collision. After the officer watched this video, we're sure he had no question as to who was at fault. Jeff sent us footage that also helped prove who was at fault. Watch what happened when a black SUV failed to yield to traffic. Both SUVs were full of occupants, but thankfully, none of them were injured. They waited around for 2 hours before the police finally showed up. In the end, the black SUV ended up being totaled. Our theory is that the black SUV's driver might have been watching the oncoming red car and dashed in front of them, failing to check for traffic from the other direction. When driving, remember that it pays to take your time and be careful. Dave was having a pool table delivered to his house when he captured video evidence of a new supernatural specter, the pallet jack demon. Wait for it. Phew, that was close. Dave's sliding glass door was saved at the last moment and his pool table was safely delivered after all. Dave actually shared some of this footage with us in the Wham Bam Discord server, as he's one of our Patreon supporters. If you want to join the Wham Bam fam, check out the link in the description. Is this someone's apartment? How could something like this happen? Tim's footage might give us a clue. Oh, that's how. Tim told us this driver was traveling at an excessive speed before smashing right through someone's wall, and that was after crashing through a fence. Tim told us this is the third time someone has crashed through this fence in 10 years, but the first time a vehicle has continued through the wall. The uninjured driver tried unsuccessfully to reverse out of the wall. First responders eventually arrived, and Tim told us the driver was given a sobriety test. We don't have the footage, but Tim told us the driver ended up in the back of a cop car, so feel free to draw your own conclusions from that. Emily's mother was loading up decorations for an event, but after she'd gone back inside, some of them decided to forge their own path. We can practically hear the other decorations asking, "Hey, where are you going?" while the bag of balloons sneaks away. When Emily's mother returned, she immediately noticed the balloons had disappeared and began frantically searching. She even jumped in her vehicle to go looking for them, but by then, they were long gone. Thankfully, Emily told us the remaining balloons turned out to be enough for their event anyway. But legend has it that the escaped balloons still roam in search of adventure to this day. Emily also wanted to shout out her parents who searched tirelessly for the runaway balloons. You may remember Mike, our frequent submitter who has sent us videos of the raccoons who play with the toys he's set up for them. Today he's back, but this time his animal visitors were opossums. In fact, these are baby opossums, and it looks like Mama is thirsty. Thanks for making the lives of your local wildlife a little easier, Mike. Hold on, do we have 2 opossum submissions in the same week? We promise, we don't plan these things. Scott told us these opossums showed up to eat the food he leaves out for local cats. While a female was eating, her boyfriend got a bit territorial with another male. Things got a little intense, but in the end, they all scurried off unharmed. Although they did leave some tufts of fur behind, which Scott found the next morning. Scott told us these critters show up all the time. Hopefully they can put their differences aside, but that's not very likely. It was a snowy morning when this pickup driver took a corner too fast and ended up plowing into Dean and his neighbor's mailboxes just off camera. Not only did the pickup destroy the mailboxes, it also damaged Dean's fence, even bending a metal support pole. The driver had some trouble getting his truck unstuck from the wreckage, but once free, he left the scene just as quickly as he'd arrived. Dean shared the footage on social media to see if anyone could identify the pickup. Several days later, the driver contacted him, claiming that he'd meant to come back to make things right. True or not, we'll never know, but at least the guy finally agreed to pay for the repairs, which will be about $500 once all is said and done. It's a good thing Dean's Securitycam captured this footage, the publishing of which eventually led to a positive resolution. This submitter sent us an update after their submission was featured in our last episode. Go watch video number 6 in episode 34 if you don't remember what happened. Our submitter's neighbor got better delivery service this time. Our submitter thinks the wreath and welcome mat did the trick, but maybe the neighbor decided to leave a better tip this time. What do you think? Early one morning, this submitter's Securitycam captured his neighbor's car being broken into. Well, it captured the getaway after the break-in anyway. The thief ran to his getaway car after evidently being spooked by something, but it doesn't look like the driver wanted to wait for him to get in. Eventually he made it, but in their hurry to leave, the driver reversed into a parked vehicle before peeling out through another neighbor's yard. Our submitter shared this footage with the police, but they don't know if the criminals were ever caught. We think this neighborhood needs some lights put in. They might deter future thieves or at least provide for better security cam footage. Speaking of better security cam footage, here's a Sentry Mode video from Chanel. She captured a little baby who has good taste in cars. That baby really wants Chanel's Tesla. The mother apologized as Chanel approached her car and told her she's a notorious wannabe carjacker. Chanel thought it was funny, and we can't blame the baby for wanting a Tesla. Before we go, we need to thank all our subscribers for pushing our channel over the 100,000 subscriber milestone. We can't wait to bring you more episodes, but we need your help. If you have footage to share, send it in using the link in the description and you might see it on a future episode. We can't wait to see what the Wham Bam fam sends us. See you in 2 weeks.
Wham Bam, we got a Patreon, man. Please support the show.